Call the August 3rd, 2020 Belvedere City Council regular meeting to order. The clerk will call the roll. Madam Clerk?
Arivalo?
Present.
Brereton?
Here.
Fleury?
Here.
Frank?
Present.
Freeman?
Here.
McGee?
Here.
Porter?
Here.
Ratcliffe?
Here.
Snow?
Here.
Stevens?
Here.
10 in participation. Also, is there anyone else on the phone?
Everybody please stand to the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity for our City Council to serve the community. We pledge to maintain respect for all, dedication to positive action, and sensible deployment of our taxpayer dollars. This is the code by which we govern. We ask for wisdom and guidance of your unseen hand, helping us make good decisions, representing the best practices, serving all the people. We aspire to make Belvedere an example of good government, becoming servant leaders with true hearts and steady hands. Grant us the discernment to be fair and impartial, listening and considering the testimony of all, choosing ultimately the path that best serves the community as a whole. These things we ask in your holy name. Amen. Under public comment this evening, we have Mr. Jeff Carlisle, District 2, Boone County. Mr. Carlisle, you have the floor.
Thank you. Is this fine right here? Mm-hmm. Last time we had a problem with everybody hearing me. Can everybody on the phone hear me? Can anybody on the phone hear me now?
I can hear you.
And by the way, the phone's off this time. I'm going to approach you all about stormwater again. I reviewed the Baxter report and Fairgram report from the city website. I've come up with a few informational items, and I'd like to have you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, Baxter-Woodman study back in 2017, I think, but the Baxter-Woodman's notification of previous conditions of the studied area was basically on their own discovery. Homes and roads were built on wetlands, and this is especially over by the Washington School. Its history is known for a wetland area, and it's a recharge area for our aquifers. Baxter-Woodman could not provide a root cause analysis from these details in the data in the report. Baxter-Woodman had to go do a work study on current studies. Note the problem started back in the 1960s when the build on these wetlands prohibited by the city and the county. What is ensuing is the Baxter-Woodman report, not totally conclusive of a set of intelligence from the root cause analysis built on these wetlands, and became opinion. The Baxter report blames the undersized system as a problem. It's an early 1960s build and could be of local standards at that time, although not specifically identified, but generalized. The statements provided evidence not knowing the wetland history in this area and the poor design to provide water remediations. And again, I did not see any drawings from this period evident to this report. The Baxter report does not conclude a math model showing inbound water and how much water needs to be remediated to keep a basement from flooding. We did see an estimate of 1 to 2 hours of rain that can cause flooding in this area. The model provided Baxter and Woodman of estimates, and not a flow inbound or expected outflow. Baxter Woodman concluded the depth levels could not be ascertained by totally identifying the water levels. A math model should ascertain the amount of water into the area when flooding is evident. The math model advises the need of the amounts of water that have to be removed to keep a basement dry. The Baxter model is not of this data in the facts on page 19. The Baxter report is an opinion in what was requested of them. The attempt of the fixes from the city in this report, although encouraging, also failed attempts to subject flooding and continues. Well, what we really don't know on this report is how much water does this area actually produce. The report was not complete on the water remediation on page 104. How much water is expected to be remediated? The Baxter report is only of opinion, not fact. How much time and money is really to be expensed? The Baxter has an opinion of conveyance of water movement. Are there lift stations to be expected to be installed? How many? At what expense and what volume? Not in the Baxter report. Why do we have one report from Baxter? Where are the rest of them? Are you aware that the Baxter report includes sewer lines and not just watershed? We understand the evidence the valley is flooding. The Baxter report is not a mission ready to go to action. It lacks other intelligence and is stated as an opinion. The taxpayer needs a mission-ready plan in all avenues, remediation of flooding. And the last thing I was going to talk about is the Fair Graham report. And the Fair Graham report is basically how we're going to tax the community. I got to ask you, what is the tax model to be used? By the way, how is Chrysler going to be taxed fairly on this? They're currently paying $7,533 per acre for the 249 acres being used. How are all the other companies going to be affected? How are all the churches going to be affected? Some have water retention ponds. This report is approximately not appropriate for the citizens of Belvedere. We understand this is a failure build. So I got to ask you, when is it okay to bail out incompetent, ill-advised government failure on the taxpayer's back? This cannot be a burden on the taxpayer. This is a city-county problem that was at stake a long time ago. I would like to suggest the aldermen, men and women, to vote down or place on a referendum until full remediation of flooding can be evident. And one last note, has anybody from the city connected with the county on stormwater? I know this answer. All the stormwater needs have to be within federal Clean Water Acts before dumping into the river. We have to make sure that is evident. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, under number 4, approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Belvedere City Council, July 20, 2020, as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Motion by
that.
Alderman Fleury, second by Alderman Arevalo. Questions, comments, or proposed amendments to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the minutes will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Arevalo?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
10 in favor.
Minutes are approved unanimously. Under number 5, public hearing, we have none. Under special messages and proclamations, I have none to share this evening. Under approval of expenditures, we have no expenditures to approve this evening. Under committee reports and minutes of city officers, please note that A is minutes of the Committee of the Whole, Public Safety, Finance, and Personnel of July 27, 2020. As presented, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Stevens. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Alderman Fleury. Questions, comments, or proposed amendments to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the minutes will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Radcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Minutes are approved unanimously. Under number 9, unfinished business, first up under A is ordinance 499H, a second reading. An ordinance authorizing the city of Belvedere, Boone County, Illinois, to borrow funds from the Illinois Water Pollution Control Loan Program. May I have a motion to approve, please?
I'll make
I
that.
will make that motion.
Okay, I have 4 motions to approve. We'll take Snow's and second by Alderman Stevens. Additional questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Radcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Ordinance 499H is approved unanimously. Brings us to item B, ordinance 500H, a second reading. An ordinance granting special use to allow a 2-family residence within the SR6 single-family residential district at 704 East Pleasant Street. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that
by
motion.
Alderman Frank, second by Alderman Stevens. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Yes, Alderman Frank.
I would just like to say that's in my ward, and thank you, Gina, for all the work that you did. I think it's going to be a great improvement.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in approval of the motion now on the floor will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Radcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Ordinance 500H is approved unanimously, which then brings us to ordinance 492H, an ordinance authorizing the sale of municipal parking lot. I am informed that we want to remove this from the table. May I have a motion to do so?
I'll make the
by
motion to
Alderman
remove
Frank,
it.
second by Alderman Stevens. Questions or comments concerning the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Yeah, Alderman Brereton.
Yes.
Alderman Brereton.
Yes, Alderman Brereton,
So
please proceed.
what is the new, what's the update where this is being removed from the table or requested to be removed?
It's ready to be voted upon.
Did you hear that, sir?
No, I asked what is the update, why do you want to remove this from the table?
So the council considers some changed language in the easement agreement, and because the Community Building Complex Committee has already voted on the issue and approved the purchase.
Okay, sounds good.
So, do I have a motion? And a second? Yeah, okay, we have motion and a second. All those in favor will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Freeman.
Aye.
McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Radcliffe.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Arivalo.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is now removed from the table. Alderman Drella will walk us through the rest of the process. Oh,
I-
excuse me, Attorney Drella, I keep promoting him.
I've been promoted again with a pay cut.
Maybe we can fix that.
So, please don't. So by way of explanation, what the status of this is, you'll recall before it was tabled some time ago, there had been a motion and a second, so we're at the discussion phase of the ordinance, which authorizes the execution of a sale contract to the Community Building Complex Committee of Boone County of the former Manley lot, as well as an easement agreement. The reason why you had two documents was, number one, they would be purchasing that lot for $400,000, but number two, they agreed to grant a perpetual easement over the property to be continued use for free public parking. The city agreed to do general maintenance of snow plowing and some striping on it. The Community Building Complex Committee was responsible for all the maintenance on the lot. The easement agreement as originally drafted also preserved the right of the city to use that lot for city festivals and things like that. And quite frankly, I was kind of surprised it took this long. The only issue the complex committee had with the entire transaction was in paragraph 5 of the easement agreement. Unfortunately, we just were able to fix that since the agenda went out, so while the aldermen here in the council chambers have the revised language in front of them, the aldermen at home do not. The original language in paragraph 5 provided the city could use the property free of charge and festivals as long as we gave the Community Building Complex Committee 10 days notice of the event. They requested that that be changed to 30 days notice, which is completely understandable and feasible, and that also they would allow that use of the property so long as they had not pre-scheduled their own event that needed that parking, which again is fair. Sit down and talk ahead of time, figure out who needs the lot when. So the revised language would be that the city may also use the property free of charge for public events and festivals. The city shall provide grantor not less than 30 days' notice of any public event or festival utilizing the property. Grantor shall allow such use provided grantor has not previously planned an event which precludes the city's public event or festival. I shot that language over to Mr. Brown as well as the Complex Committee's attorney and their executive director. And quite frankly, I was surprised to learn this morning, and I only learned it this morning, that they had already voted and approved the contract and the easement agreement subject to these changes being made. So they've actually already voted upon and approved the transaction. My recommendation at this point, assuming the council wishes to move forward with the transaction, is to first make a motion to amend paragraph 5 of the easement agreement as I just indicated.
May I have a motion to amend?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Stevens. May I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
Second by Alderman Arivalo. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion to amend?
Alderman Freeman.
Yes, Alderman Freeman, please proceed.
So I believe that when this originally came up, Alderman McGee made a suggestion to amend it so that if the community building were ever to decide to sell, that the city would have buyback rights. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. McGee.
That's correct.
So has that been part of the discussion?
Attorney Drella?
Did we lose the call? 'Cause I
No.
don't hear anything.
He's trying to find it in his documents.
We did not, and there's two reasons why. I was just making sure that was not in the agreement. We did not, but there were two reasons why. Number one is they're providing fair market value of $400,000 for the property. Number two is because this easement is a perpetual easement. Even if they sell the property, it is subject to the easement of free parking.
Does that answer your question?
Okay, so I think the concern was that we would lose that, if they did sell to, somebody, so that we don't have to worry about that? Is that what you're saying?
That should be correct. One of the original discussions of the easement agreement was that so long as they owned the property, that easement would be in place. That language in one of the drafts they sent back to us was removed, and so what it says now is, I'm looking for the exact language. Grantor does hereby give, grant, and convey to the city of Belvedere an easement privilege, right, and authority on, under, and over the property to allow the public to use the below described property as a space for free public parking and city-sponsored events. It goes on with a series of conditions, one of which is incorporating the recitals. The second is that for the duration of the easement, the property shall be used as a lot for free public parking. Talks about prohibiting the erection of permanent structures on the property or the dumping or placing of storage of trash. Number
Okay,
three.
so that's an agreement between us and them pertaining to this sale. So will that carry over, that agreement, to a new owner?
This is not an agreement in the sense of what you're thinking of. An easement is a recorded document that binds the property going forward. But let me continue reading, please. The grantor and the city come to agree that the grantor and the city will not commit any of the above activities, that is construction without the other's permission. The city should not be liable responsible for damages. So long as preserved as free public parking lot under the agreement, the city will provide snow plowing service for the property. City may also use the property free of charge for public events, which was what we just talked about. Grantor reserves all rights accruing to the ownership of the property that are expressly prohibited hereon and not consistent with the purpose of the easement. The easement is not assignable or transferable by the city unless approved in writing by grantor, which is fair. This indenture, here's the important part, and this is what I was looking for. This indenture shall run with the land and shall be binding upon the grantee, assigns, heirs, and successors of the parties hereto. And strike that. It did say in there, notwithstanding the foregoing, this easement agreement shall terminate upon the future sale of the property to a third party. That's what I was looking for, Alderman Freeman, because I thought that may have been taken out, but it was not. So, upon the sale of the property to a successor third party, the easement agreement does terminate as written.
This is Alderman Snow. So at this point, if a developer decides to come to town and decides that that's a great location, the community building could sell it and the city wouldn't have any say in it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And I'm assuming that's where Mr. McGee's question was involving, is the fact that without our consent, they could sell it, and we would be without all that additional parking for various events.
That parking would be lost, you're correct. Obviously, the obligation to maintain it would also terminate, but you're correct, that parking would then be owned by any successor third party.
I think we should, go back to them and, amend this, that if they were to sell, the city would have buyback rights.
I agree with that.
The only, before we entertain a motion to table, I suppose, again, before we go that route, please understand one thing. The most you could possibly hope for would be a right of first refusal. That I don't believe they would agree to, because I wouldn't agree to it, to lock in the purchase price. So in other words, if somebody came to them and offered them $600,000 for the property, they may entertain an agreement where they would give us the right to match that, to buy it back if we so chose. Obviously, I have not had the discussion with them, but that is the route that a transaction like that usually goes.
So how do we know that they don't already have something in the works to sell that to somebody for a huge profit right now?
Becky?
What I can tell you right now is the property as it stands, as a parking lot, is worth way less than what we are going to be selling the property for. The appraisal came back, I don't have it in front of me, I want to say it was $130,000, somewhere in that area. So for them to pay $400,000 for it and turn around, there are a lot of work that would have to be done to make it worth any more than what they paid for it.
This is the mayor. They've wanted that property for 20 years. If Manley was going to sell the property at some point in time, at the time that we were able to purchase it, it was just a unique set of circumstances because Manley was had been purchased previously, and they either had to move out of town or redo their dealership to reflect the new image that Ford wanted to put forward. So that enabled us an opportunity to buy that piece of property, and they demolished it, and because they demolished it, they got credits from the federal government for deconstruction, which allowed us to purchase it cheaper than the real estate value of the property at the time. And we were fortunate enough in some respects that we had an empty dealership, or about to be empty dealership, where Wolf Chevrolet used to be, so it worked out very well. Instead of losing two dealerships, we kept one that's doing very well. I suppose we could go back to them and say pending that type of an agreement, we could conditionally approve it just like they did with the amendments that they offered to you all this evening that we approved. And that way we don't have to futz around with endless delays. If they'll either accept it or not accept it. I'm not sure they will accept it. It's a kind of strong request, but we can try. Would that satisfy you? That we could approve this pending their approval of an amendment that would offer what Mr. McGee would like?
That's fine, or, maybe the disagreement that we have with them, would also be transferable to the new owner.
Attorney Drella?
That's two different ways to skin the cat. I was trying to think of the best way to move forward. I'd ask the clerk the question, have we voted on the First Amendment already? Which was the changes to paragraph 5? We had a motion.
We have a motion to amend.
What I recommend first, Mr. Mayor, is actually vote on the a motion to amend paragraph 5 of the easement agreement, which is substantially different than the current discussion, so we keep the record clean.
So let's do that. All those in favor of passing the proposed amendment, will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
McGee?
Nay.
Just to make sure we're clear, you're not voting on the ordinance, you're voting upon the change only to paragraph 5 to provide 30 days notice of events. and then we can entertain a subsequent motion relative to Alderman McGee's request on the rights of first refusal.
McGee,
Nay.
Porter,
Nay.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
8 in favor.
The amendment is passed.
And now that we have that taken care of for clarity of the record, because there's, Mr. Mayor, there's two different ways to skin the cat, it's kind of hard to do a conditional approval and then go back to them. I know it's not exactly what everybody wants to hear, but it may be better if this is the direction of the council, to go ahead and put it back on the table for 2 more weeks. I'll go back to them, see if they agree to it. Either A, removing the language from the easement that it terminates upon sale of the property, or B, giving the city a right of first refusal. Get their answer on that. That will probably have to go back to their board anyway, is my guess. That's a substantive change. And then once we have the answer on it, bring it back to our own council.
Motion to table.
I'll make the motion to table.
By Stevens. Have a second.
I will.
Okay. Second by Frank. Motion is tabled. Do I need to? We can't just table? Okay. All those in favor table, will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Porter,
Alderman Porter, I need a clarification on what we're voting on. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
We're voting on tabling where we are so far, so the attorney can go back and propose Mr. McGee's qualification to the contract before we vote on
Okay.
accepting.
Okay, I vote aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Nay.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
9 in favor.
Okay. Ordinance 492H is again tabled. Under number 10, new business, we have 2 first readings, which will be read into the record for the folks at home. A is ordinance 501H, a first reading, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an annexation agreement between the City of Belvedere and the Cemetery Association of Belvedere. Item B is ordinance 502H, first reading, an ordinance annexing certain territory lying east of the Fairgrounds Road and south of the Prairie Fields Park and commonly known as the Belvedere Cemetery to the City of Belvedere, Boone County, Illinois. Next up, we have motions forwarded from the Committee of the Whole, Public Safety, Finance, and Personnel of July 27th, 2020. The motions will be presented by Chairman Brereton. Chairman Brereton, you have the floor.
A, motion to accept the donation of $1,000, check number 0679384 from Walmart, and to approve the expenditure of $1,000 of the donated money for the purchase of 2 flat-screen televisions and associated equipment.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Item B.
B, motion to accept the quote of $3,300 from J&J Hardwood Flooring for the station number 1 upstairs remodel. This expense will come out of the building repair maintenance line item number 01-5-220-6010.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Brings us to item C.
Item C is motion to approve the expenditure of $12,000 for the combined purchase of the EMA air truck. Belvedere Fire Department's portion will come from the remaining General Mills Public Safety Grant of $10,164.91, and the balance of $1,835.09 from the Repairs Maintenance Vehicles line item number 01-5-220-6030.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Thank you, Chairman Brereton. Next up, we have motions of Public Works, which will be presented by Chairman Freeman. Chairman Freeman, you have the floor.
Thank you. D, motion to approve the low bid from AC Pavement Striping in the amount of $12,593.35 for the 2020 MFT thermoplastic pavement striping project, subject to IDOT approval. This work will be paid for from MFT funds.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Brings us to item E.
E, motion to approve the low bid from Rock Road Companies in the amount of $524,902 for the 2020 MFT Street Overlay Program, subject to IDOT approval.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor?
I have one.
Please proceed.
So, Brent, this doesn't say, This work will be paid for from MFT funds. So, where's the money coming from for this?
It is coming from MFT funds.
Okay, so should we amend that to say that?
Attorney, do we need to amend it to say that? Counsel, do you want it amended to say that?
I'm asking if we should.
Apparently, the attorney has no opinion. He told me that the council should make that decision if it's of importance to you.
I mean, the motion as written already says MFT, but if the council wants to have further clarification, they could do that.
I'll make a motion to amend it to say that this money will be paid for from MFT funds if that's where it's coming from.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, a second by Alderman Stevens. All those in favor of amending the motion, will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
10 in favor.
The motion to amend is passed unanimously. Now I entertain a motion to pass the amended motion, the amended original motion, so that it mentions funds will come from MFT funds. All those in favor will, when the name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
10 in favor.
The amended motion is passed unanimously. Brings us to item F.
Item F, motion to approve the low bid from Fisher Excavating in the amount of $390,970.08 for the high school and Bellwood Ponds project. This work will be paid for from capital funds and grant funds.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Frank,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
McGee,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Ratcliffe,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Arivalo,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. That brings us to item G.
G, motion to approve the city go-to bid for the demolition of 407 West Madison Street.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Alderman Frank.
Alderman Snow. I don't remember if last week it was
Excuse
really
me.
clarified that
Excuse me.
anybody actually went through the house to see if there was anything to be salvaged, or if the historic preservation was gonna get the opportunity to do that before it's demolished.
Apparently not.
I physically went through the house. This is Kip. I did not see anything that was of historical preservation. or anything that could be donated to a museum. It's in pretty bad shape.
Will that satisfy your inquiry, Alderman Snow?
As long as Becky's there and she's part of the historic preservation, and I assume Gina might be present, that as long as everybody's okay with it, I just don't want to have somebody go, oh, we should have done that. So I'm done with my bit for it.
I just want to say Kip grew up in a historic house, and he's very familiar with historic preservation efforts, so I trust him when he goes through a house to determine if anything's salvageable.
Okay, Alderman Frank?
I also wanted to ask Kip, will the grant pay for the total demolishing, or do we still have to pay a balance after that grant?
Well, we have 34,000 in the grant, and I'm hoping the bid comes in at under 20,000 for the demolition.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing none,
I guess Alderman Snow has a question. Logistics of when they do tear down the house, do they actually pull the foundation out, or do they just fill the foundation, the open basement area?
They'll remove the foundation 2 foot below grade around the perimeter, and then they will crack and seat the floor if it's a paved concrete floor in the basement. They have to cap the sanitary sewer and also the water, and then they will backfill.
So essentially there will be some infrastructure, while not usable, but the debris would still be in the hole.
Correct. That's typically what we do, depending on how council wants to handle the property afterwards. If, for example, they want to give it to Habitat of Humanity, then we could probably make arrangements to do the complete removal of the foundation as well.
I don't want to disagree with Mr. Anderson, but it is my opinion that the foundation should be removed. If the property was a residential property and it was going to be turned into a commercial development where there would be no foundation, but since this is a residential property, I would clarify that the bid come in that the foundation be removed in case there was another house put on the property.
so it shall be. Any additional questions or comments? Alderman Snow?
So at this point, they are going to remove the foundation, and that's the tentative bid process at this point?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Freeman.
Aye.
McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ratcliffe.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Arivalo.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Brings us to item H.
Item H, motion to approve the proposal from Engel Electric in the amount of $6,889 for the Prairie Place Lift Station electrical work. This work will be paid for from the Sewer Depreciation Fund.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
McGee.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ratcliffe.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Arivalo.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously, which brings us to item I.
I, motion to approve the proposal from Tri-R Systems in the amount of $19,100 for updating the Water Department SCADA system to the Windows 10 operating platform. This work will be paid for from the water depreciation account.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Porter?
Aye.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Arivalo?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously, which brings us to item J.
A, motion to approve the proposal from Baxter and Woodman in an amount not to exceed $9,600 for the primary clarifier's condition report. This work will be paid for from line item number 61-5-820-6190.
Motion out of committee. Questions, comments, or further discussion concerning the motion now on the floor? Alderman Frank?
I'm just asking Brent if he could just clarify what the primary clarifiers, is that the water tower, or is that at the water treatment plant?
No, those are when the raw sewage comes into the plant, the primary clarifiers, that's basically the first stop for the sewage in the treatment plant process. And the last work on those was done in the mid-90s, so it's about 25 years old or so. So it's time for them to be drained, inspected, with repairs determined. And we're thinking probably in the ballpark of between $100,000 and $200,000 worth of repairs it's probably going to take to bring them up, updated.
Additional questions or comments concerning the motion now on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
Arivalo?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously. Thank you, Chairman Freeman. Next, under 11, we have an executive session. Do we want to shut everything down and call back in, Michael, or how do you want to do that? So I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss probable or imminent litigation pursuant to Section 2C11 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Arivalo. May I have a second, please?
I'll second that motion.
I'll second that, Porter.
Second by Alderman Stevens. Thank you also, Alderman Porter. All those in favor will, when your name is called, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay.
Arivalo?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Flurry?
Aye.
Frank?
Aye.
Freeman?
Aye.
McGee?
Aye.
Porter?
Aye.
Ratcliffe?
Aye.
Snow? Snow?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
10 in favor.
Motion is approved unanimously.
Give me a couple moments, and shut down